this is Cindy here. I'm sitting in my research lab right now where I am a grad student in a medical institution in New York City, pursuing a PhD in neuroscience. So I am pursuing graduate school in a STEM field, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I decided to put together this video with 5 key pieces of advice that I have for people who are thinking of pursuing grad school in STEM. I can only speak about science because that's the field I am in. And it's not just for people who are thinking about pursuing grad school in STEM. This is also for people who are currently pursuing grad school in STEM. It's kind of some sort of encouraging words for those of you who are actually doing this right now. Well, the first piece of advice I have is that grad school is hard, but it's not impossible to get through. So the reason why I say that is everyone knows that if you go to grad school, it will be hard. It's the reality of the matter. Graduate school is hard. It's higher education. So of course, you hear about it, but you don't really understand how hard it could be. It's definitely difficult. And when I say difficult, it's not just that classes are hard, it's that it could be mentally challenging for you as well, especially if you move to a new city and a new environment and you're not used to it. Grad school is 5 to 7 years of your adult life in your 20s. A lot of times people don't realize that's actually a very important point in your life where a lot of your friends who decided not to go to grad school embarked on their career, and you see all of them kind of moving on, getting a job, getting promoted, and then buying a house, kind of getting established, and you're still pursuing your degree. So this is the reason why I'm saying grad school is not just hard because of classes, it's hard because of other emotional, mental strains. And so yeah, my advice is basically grad school is hard, but it's not impossible to get through. And the reason why I say it's not impossible is because you have to kind of realize that you're pursuing a higher degree to either make you more qualified for a job that you do want to pursue, a career that you do want to pursue, or because the career you actually need requires this PhD to get that position. And so there's a reason why you're doing this. And if you have no reason for pursuing grad school, I suggest that you shouldn't pursue it. Think long and hard about whether this is the right path you should take. Okay, my second piece of advice is that graduate school is not like undergraduate school. And you have to know this very fast. When you take classes in undergrad, it's, you show up at a certain time and then you sit there, they lecture for 2-3 hours, and then you go home. And at some point you take multiple exams that are spread throughout your semester, and then those exams get averaged out, and then you pass. Most of the time for people in science, we cram for those exams. Be honest. All of you have crammed like crazy, basically fell asleep in class and not listened, and then crammed like crazy for those exams to get a passing grade. And so grad school classes aren't really like that. They test you in different ways. The classroom sizes are very, very small. So my class, I believe, the classes I was taking had like 15 people, 14 people. And so it's very one-on-one with the professors. And because it's very one-on-one, they kind of assess you differently. It's not just based off of exams. You do have exams that you have to pass, but they also assess your critical thinking, like how you answer questions, whether you ask questions in class. So the assessment is different. So grad school is not like undergrad. The classes are different. Another way that grad school is different from undergrad is that there is no set routine. The school doesn't really designate what your day is like. You have to kind of figure out your own schedule and your own time management skills. So this is very apparent in their first year of grad school when all students are taking full-on classes at the same time they're also pursuing their 3 rotations. So in the STEM field or in science, like for me, I had to rotate in 3 research labs while I was taking classes, and each rotation would last 3 months. And so during that time, I would have class in the morning or in the afternoon. They'd be spread apart, but then I was expected to go to my research lab in the morning before class, and in the afternoon in between the two classes, and after class to pursue my rotation project to see if I even like doing research in that particular laboratory. And so in this way, grad school is very different. You're kind of like working in a lab at the same time that you're taking classes, and you know, it could be very surprising for people, to be honest. Their time management skills, a lot of students from undergrad, they don't have really good time management skills, and you have to learn how to be really how to utilize your time well in grad school, or else later on you'll find that it's going to be very, very hard to get all the work done. So I highly suggest for you to learn time management skills. If you want me to make a video about how to use your time efficiently, please leave a comment below, and I can of course make a video about how I use my time efficiently in grad school, or just in life in general. My third piece of advice is, even though grad school is hard and it takes up a lot of your time, your weekends, it's a weekend right now, I'm in lab, you should always pursue something outside of your lab work. And have a good work-life balance, or try to have a good work-life balance. I tell this to all new students because it's so important to remember that you are not just a student who is there to conduct research. You're a human being. You have hobbies outside. You have friends outside of grad school. You have family. You should go and pursue that to keep your life sane. Because if your entire life revolves around the lab, there are moments where experiments don't work, and you can't, it's too emotionally draining. So you need to have a good work-life balance and pursue something outside of lab as well. So my fourth piece of advice is really kind of like a message to all of you who are currently in grad school. Failure in your experiments and failure in lab does not mean that you as a human being, as a person, is a failure. And I think a lot of grad students don't separate the two, because again, you know, to my point before, they spend all their time in lab, and so they don't pursue outside hobbies. Their entire life is defined by the laboratory, the research they're doing in grad school. And when things keep failing, they feel like they have failed as a human being. And so this is more just a message, really. It's an advice. Please listen to this. It's a message. Failure in lab does not mean that you have failed as a human being or as a person. The fifth piece of advice I have is that if you're struggling right now with your experiments, with your project, with your mental state, with what you're thinking or how you're thinking, please reach out to people who are either in the school, professionals who can help you, or even your peers and your mentors. And it's very, very important to talk about when you're not feeling well. And I know no one likes to admit they need help, but it's so important to do this. Talk therapy, even though it's seen as, you know, everyone just, we talk, we vent, we complain, but it is actually very, very therapeutic, and it's very important to remember to do this just to keep sane while in grad school. I certainly do it all the time. I can tell you, you know, you can talk to my lab mates, or I can maybe insert clips of them. I don't know if they're going to want to be in here, but I've certainly complained enough to my fiance. I certainly complain enough to my friends, to my family, to my peers, even to my mentor. He has heard me complain so much about everything, but he understands because he's gone through this process. So again, my last piece of advice, my fifth piece of advice, is just to reach out to someone and tell them how you feel. It really will make you feel better, and also they might provide you some advice for what you're going through. So thank you again for, I guess, tuning in and watching this video. I hope that I've helped some of you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below, and If you want me to make a video in the future about a certain topic in grad school, I can certainly do that. So again, please leave it in comment and I will get back to you. So thank you again for watching this video and have a good night. Bye.